All right, everybody. Hello. My name is Annette L. Anderson. This is TNT Tuesday Night Talk. I haven't been here for a couple of weeks, and I'm on here tonight. Um, my plan is not to be on here very long. I have been working on some stuff. I started a business, and it seems to really be taking off. So I've been spending time with that. So my apologies for the last couple of weeks. I'm still coming on Tuesday nights. I just was trying to prepare myself. It's interesting. Hey, Shaitan, it's interesting. Sometimes when you step out and you do some things, especially when you know how you make that step and you're like, okay, am I going to do this? And then you step out and then things kind of go better than you thought they were. So that's kind of where I was this week. So the name of the organization is Exquisite Design. So I posted some stuff on Facebook. So it's been a very interesting few days. And so I haven't, like I said, I haven't been on, and I'm on tonight. And so actually speak, orate, articulate, and reverberate. In other words, we come on and we talk about some stuff. I believe my calling is to motivate people, to help push them into destiny, and to remind them who they are. Sometimes we forget, we get caught up in life and the humdrum, and we forget just how important we are and what we bring to the table. And I believe that sometimes we limit ourselves because we look at what we don't have. So I've learned in the latter part of my life is to look at what I do have. So when I start focusing on what I do have, I realize I can bring quite a bit to the table, more than I even realized. But human nature, for whatever reason, we always look at what we don't have in negative. What if I don't make it? What if this don't work out? What if, even on here, what if nobody comes on? We have a lot of what ifs. But I've learned to not look at life like that, because what happens, you become pigeonholed. You get to a point that you'll really look at yourself and don't see what's there, because of course we've had this face since birth, and so we know some of the things about ourselves. We know that sometimes we're lazy, sometimes don't move when we should move, don't go when we should go. But there's another side that you have not tapped into, and so that is the beauty of it. We don't always look at ourselves the way we should. I'm going to take a couple of seconds. I need to share. And if you would share, I need to, I forgot to do that. I'm not good at that. To share when people come on. Like I said, I haven't been here in a couple of weeks. So I am going to share right quick. And like I said, I'm not going to be on here very long, but I do. I found it necessary to still come on, because we don't know. We don't know what God is doing. We don't. We don't. Um, so sometimes life will move right past us. Okay, I'm sharing now. So give me a second here. Share with some folks. Well, I posted it again. That's not what I really want. I want to send in my messenger. Give me a second. Okay. Oh, all righty. Um, all righty. All right. Okay. Did I say that too? Okay. That's it. I'm sorry about that. All right. But anyway, I'm on here tonight to really just encourage someone, and let you know that you have what it takes, but you got to take what you have and utilize it to the best of your ability. I think sometimes because, especially what I've been called to do, like I'm a preacher, and sometimes we actually, I hate to say it this way, but sometimes people need that applause and that attaboys and that you can make it, and you got this. But what if nobody shows up? What if nobody supports you? What if nobody give you a pat on the back, or say you got this, or that you got what it takes? What if that happens? Then what? So does that mean that you don't follow your dream or your vision because Others may not support you or don't believe in what you've been called to do, or maybe they're doing whatever and don't support you. Has nothing to do with what you've been called to do. I don't know how many times in my life I've walked alone. I've walked alone. I had to figure it out. I've put together things myself. I had to, I had one or two people who would motivate me and believe in me, of course, but I had to figure it out, and I had to know that regardless of what happens, that I'm gonna still go forward. And that is one of the most difficult things that I find in this walk, because you do want somebody to support you, of course you do, but like I said, I'm learning that there will be times when God will have you walk alone. I remember this one that lady, her, I can't think of her name right this minute, but she's phenomenal. Man, I can kick myself. And she was talking about how she wanted to Lisa, her name is Lisa Nichols. Oh, thank goodness. How, she was talking about how she had a child, and the father went to prison. And one day, she needed to get diapers for the baby, and she didn't have any money. And she was saying how she promised her baby this would never happen again. So what she did, she had to walk along. Some even her family would talk about her because she was going to this seminar and meeting these people and this, that, and the other. And she was a black lady, and they were saying, "Well, why are you always with all those white people?" I don't know why we say foolishness like that, because God will bless you any kind of way you want to bless you. But she decided, she said, "I'm gonna have to leave them up behind for a little while, but I'm gonna go back eventually." And sometimes, y'all, for those who will listen to this later, because a lot of people listen later, sometimes you have to leave people behind, even if you have to go back later and get them. But that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is, that we have to leave people behind and go forward, because they don't always understand. And not only that, God didn't give them the vision. It's your vision. It's what you've been called to do. So I've been called to do quite a few things, and I'm trying to figure out how I am going to make sure that I accomplish everything that I've been called to do. And so that is why it's so important that you make up in your mind, in your mind, that regardless of what, I'm going to go forward. And that, I'm telling y'all, that's why I come on here to let you know. I'm not trying to act like, you just wake up in the morning and, the birds are chirping, and, and you just, everything's just wonderful and the sun is just shining. That's not always how life is. Can be cruel. Life can throw things that you did not expect. But on the flip side of that, you have to know what you must do. And so many of us will never reach our destiny because sometimes we're scared. I talk about that quite often. And for so long, I was scared. Sometimes we look at, again, what we don't have. Either we'll tell, and this is a biggie, we'll tell somebody else about our vision, our dreams, or whatever. And then all of a sudden, these people say, "Oh, why are you doing that?" Well, that don't make no sense. Why you? Well, no, but I don't let nobody speak like that in my life, because you didn't give me the vision, and you didn't give me the dream, and I'm not going to let dream killers get in the way. And people, a lot of times, people don't always mean any harm, but they cannot see what you see. And sometimes we struggle to see what we see, because like I said, I did exquisite design this Saturday at African America Juneteenth. Had a wonderful time. I met some wonderful people, and the vendors. Some of the vendors were like amazing. I was like, wow. I felt privileged to be among those ladies and gents that were there. But I made some stuff, and I had like it was mind-boggling, the feedback that I got, because I'm like, "Oh, I don't think this looked that good. I could have did this better." I beat myself up about it, but it turned out very well. It blew my mind more than I ever thought. And out of just meeting those people, just those few hours, I I have other people who want. I got orders that I got to fill, because people, they like what I produce. So my thought was, after I was traveling home, what if I had not stepped out? What if I did not at least step out and at least try, even if I would have failed? Even if nobody bought anything, I I did it. And one of the things that blessed me, I told, because in fact my niece and my daughters were there. Actually, all three of my daughters was there, and my niece. So they helped me. Thank God for them because I had stuff everywhere. I like, hey Sharon, I just was a mess. Okay, I like, oh my God, oh my God. But what if I had not had stepped out? Then I would not have known that I had something that could be a blessing to somebody else. Honestly, people were blessed. Listen, people were coming up to the table and they were saying some didn't buy anything, which was fine with me. Of course I wanted to make sales, but I wanted feedback. I was more hungry for feedback, and I said, I guess I wanted to be sort of vindicated in the sense that I've been called to do that. I don't know why we do that, but we do, and I'm trying not to. I'm trying to overcome that, and so people would come to the table and say, "This is beautiful. You did this." I had one lady come to the table 4 times. She kept coming to the table. But my point is this: I was so blessed because here I was scared to step out and do what I believed that I was one of the things I've been called to do. And then so many people were blessed because I did. And so I said, oh my gosh, God, look at you. Look at you. Like my sister always say, God showed up and showed out. She's she always say that, and I totally agree with that. And so I shared that with you because I'm not trying to make a sale, child. I'm not even promoting that right now. That's coming. But I shared that with you to let you know that even at the time when you're most afraid, at the time that you don't think you can make it, at the time you about to give up, at the time look like everything is falling apart, that is when God will step in. I had so much stuff. I had so much stuff. So my kids and my nieces, they helped me, and they were there to really sell myself. Now let me say this. It's amazing to me, y'all, that other people will believe in you more than you'll believe in you. Oh my! Other people will see your value. Other people will see your importance. Other people will see your necessity more than you will. And so we have to get to the point that we understand that we are valuable. There's a purpose. I don't believe God just left us here just for nothing. I think we have a purpose. I really unequivocally, without a doubt, believe there's a purpose that God has called us to do some things. But we have to get past those barriers and over those hurdles. And even on the way going to Palm Coast, I knew the place was. I passed right by it. I saw it. I said, "Oh, there it is," And so when I got out of my car, I had a lot of emotions because this thing was really dear to me, and I had worked really hard. But so I wanted to just share that with you guys tonight to let you know that if you've been called to do it, I promise you God will make a way. And then I met some ladies. I met some people that I did not know, and I still don't know them. And I'm going tomorrow. I'm going to have lunch with them in Palm Coast, because I believe that I will never be able to get my message out there to let people know who I am, and not only just me, other people. Because if it depends on what you're looking for, I may know somebody who do that. So my job is to number one, to encourage you through the word of God, encourage you through my life, encourage you, other ways. And like I said, listen, I'm a prayer warrior. I really am. I just don't get up early in the morning, okay? But if you need prayer, if you need to talk to somebody, I don't have all the answers. I don't claim to be a psychologist or psychiatrist, but I'm a lifelogist. And what a lifelogist simply means that I've lived through some things, I walked through some things. God have allowed me to live through some things that others didn't make it. I've been some places that others didn't survive. I've been on an Air Force base down in Homestead before the hurricane destroyed it. I'm standing next to all these bombs. I didn't know what they were. I was just standing there because I had went there with someone else, and out of nowhere, just all those police just came and surrounded me with guns drawn on me. So God has, and of course, I survived it. So God have allowed me to survive some things, and because He allowed me to, that I was able to overcome some things, then that means that I can share that with someone else. That you are an overcomer. I know your life may not have started the best way. My life did not start the way I wanted. I had other ideas how I thought my life would be when I was a young girl. I was going to be a nurse. That was always one of the things that I felt like I wanted to do. But then during the time that I had was working, and during that time, we're talking about like 30 some years ago, they didn't have where I could go to school at in the evenings or at night. I work from home or from home. I didn't have we didn't have They didn't have access. I would have actually had to quit my job and then do that full time. And at that time, I couldn't do that because I had to work. So later on, when that I could have maybe 10 years or 15 years ago, I could have, but then by that time I had lost the desire to do that. I didn't want to do that anymore. So sometimes life don't always come uh, around like we want it to. You know how you make plans. When we were the movement, we made plans to do some things here in Daytona, symposium, and so many other things. We had people that would come and give lectures, and all health, all this other stuff that we had planned to do. But it didn't work out that way, and the pandemic hit, and of course the rest is history. But then now looking back, I understand why. Because if certain things hadn't happened, if I wasn't able to work from home, to now retire and be home, and some other things that God had placed in my life, and blessed with my husband, thank goodness. So and now things have come full circle, and I can see. So we don't always. I could at least see some of the stuff. We can't always see everything, of course, because if we saw everything, a lot of us would say, forget it. If I got to go through all that to get there, you keep that. That's how we think sometimes. So God don't let us see all of that. But I just came on tonight just to encourage somebody, to let you know that you are indeed an overcomer. And when you look in the mirror, stop looking at uh, your face. What's looking back at you. Ask God to really show you some of the depths of who you are, because there's so much to us that we don't even tap into. I do stuff now. I promise y'all, I ain't know I could do too much of nothing, honestly. I mean, I could cook, clean, take care of it, that kind of stuff, but I'm not very creative. I just can come up with thoughts in my head like, oh, I'm going to make that. I go make it. When I started making stuff, I did my little research, and I was on YouTube, and learning and making sure that I utilize the right stuff, and make sure it was pretty and all that kind of stuff. Then God started dropping it. Well, do it this way. Yeah, they do it that way, but no. Take this and do that. And so that's what happens when you open yourself up to really tap into who you are. And all of a sudden things start falling in place. And I know it sounds like a fairy tale, but I'm telling you what I walked through, because I wasn't creative. I didn't make nothing. I got a sewing machine. I'll start taking sewing classes real soon, probably the next couple of months. I'm going to learn how to do the basics, to sew. I've always wanted to make, one of the things I wanted to make, I always wanted to make my own dolls, my own doll line. Why can't I have it? Why can't I do it? Why can't I? So that means I have to put the work in. I already got a vision of what I want the dolls to look like, but I just can't sew. So that's very important. But that don't mean I don't have the vision. See, I don't have the vision. So I got the vision, and God gave me provision. I got the sewing machine. So it's up to me to do it. So now listen, let me share this. I recently read something about somebody who was saying, well, I'm not going to do that because there's so many people out there doing that. So many people are, doing this, and so many people are doing that, so many caterers, whatever. But somebody said, but when you go to the grocery store and you look down the bread aisle, it's all kind of bread. There's all kinds of bread that's being made. So just because there's 20 types of bread, Sunbeam, and so many others, even at Walmart, they get their own bread they make. So just because of somebody make a lot of bread don't mean nothing. All the bread at some point get purchased, and that's how it is in life. I don't care if somebody else just open up a business. I don't care if they open up an organization and maybe doing some of the things that you want to do. I know people say, oh, it's enough churches on every corner. Well, obviously it's not working, because there's still people that are not saved. So you just because your church got 500 and somebody else got 10, you know better, because they're doing just as long as you're doing or they're doing what they've been called to do. So who are you to say what should or should not be? I mean, I know we say that all the time. Or if nobody don't go to your church, I guess you're just not going to even. They're just not going to heaven. But that's not true either, because your church wasn't here 2,000 years ago. Neither were you. And so these are the things. So you have to know and be lined up in who God called you to be, and what He called you to do, and stay in that lane. Stay in your lane. Stay in that lane. I don't care what nobody else do. Other people do what I do, but that has nothing to do with me. Other people on, and they got a lot of people. That has nothing to do with me. I have to just, trust God enough to know that regardless of what, He's going to do what He's going to do in His season. I just come on to encourage you, to let you know that in due season, if you faint not, it's going to come to pass. Don't always look like it. It looks scary sometimes. And even when I'm on here, I say, oh my God, I'm on here, nobody on here. And I say, and you just talk, keep talking. Because one thing I love about social media and technology, that somebody may look at this 2 years from now, 5 years from now, and be blessed. Because I know I listen to words, TD Jakes sometime, and other preachers and motivational speakers, and sometimes they have done that maybe 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and that message is just like it was yesterday. Because why? It's for me, for the season I'm in. And so there are seasons that we're in. Look how hot it is, y'all. I tried very hard to stay in the house because I be hot. Oh, I can't stand heat. But the season changes, so pretty soon, to cool off. And that's how life is. Sometimes life is hot. Everything just, is moving, shaking. Your business is doing what it needs to do. Then again, it start getting cool, like, the fall, and things start cooling off a little bit, and sometimes the winter coming, and it start freezing. So life keep right on going. The problem with us is that we take for granted time. See, time you can't borrow. Time you can't borrow. Nobody can loan you time. Once that time is gone, it's gone. So what I try to do is utilize my time to the best of my ability, and I'm learning how to do that. I'm learning how to demand my day, and to organize my day in such a way that I don't, look up and my day is gone. And we all have been there. You look like, no, it's 5 o'clock already, because the day time keep moving. Time keep moving even when we don't. And so that is a scary thing. So what I done the last couple of days, I didn't do any crafts, anything. I just spent the time with Leonard. We did, went places, and that's important when you have relationships too, to cultivate your relationships, whether it be your children, your husbands, your friends, whatever. You have to cultivate relationships, and that is so important. We did a series with the movement called Ship Relationship. All types of ship. And we talked about ships and the importance of ships, and what the ships are composed of. And we did a series, very good series on that. And also we did a series. Well, we actually did one day. We had a speaker come in, and she talked about peeling the onion, how so many of us have layers and layers and layers, and there's so much greatness, but it's hidden under all those layers of life. And some of, especially women, and I can't even speak for men, because I don't walk in that vein. I can only say what I've heard, but being a woman myself, I walked through some things. And so I understand how we can get layers, because even a lot of times, as women are nurturers, and we want to save the world. Most of us need to just go ahead and get us a cake, because we think we're super mama, but we're trying to save everybody. And then what happens is, we're so busy saving everybody else that we don't even save ourselves. And then we tore up from the floor up, and we don't do uh, what we should do, or tap into that vein that God has called us to tap into. And so what happens is, those are the layers. And then what happens with layers is, if you don't address an issue, if you don't address a problem, what we do is just sweep it under the rug. So then there's another layer. And so it's not that you're not gifted, it's not that you're not talented, it's not that you're not called, but because we have so many layers, that it's sometimes hard to get to that place. Because I had layers of I remember, because I got my GED, I think in 1975, I think. And so I think my class graduated in 76 or whatever, but I had already had my GED. So I went to the graduation, and for years, that really bugged me, that bothered me. And I shared this before. It bothered me. It don't bother me now. But it bothered me then because when it got to, because I grew up in Bunnell, small town, but when it got to my name was Annette Louise Ford at the time. So when it got to where my name should have been, that it went to whoever name was next, and it bothered me because uh, I allowed situations to get in the way of what I felt was necessary. But you know what? It was all in God's plan. It was all in the plan. But anyway, my point is that was a layer. And then, being married and divorced, and married and divorced, and married and divorced. That was a layer. So I had layers, and that, let's not even talk about some of the other stuff, the abuse and all the other stuff I went through, the depression and all that struggles for years trying to get through that. So that was another layer. So it took me a while to really get past all those layers in life so I could walk into what God had called me to walk in. So yeah. And so I just shared that with y'all tonight to let you know that regardless of what you're going through, that God has it, and regardless of what it looks like, I know it look like you're not going to make it, look like you'll never overcome. But if you keep persevering and keep believing in yourself, I had to learn how to believe in me. That was one of the most difficult things to really, say that I had what it takes. I had what it took. I'm sorry, I had what it took, but I had to take what I had, and I didn't know how to utilize that. And so I learned it was a difficult walk, but I walked through it. So that's why I say I'm a lifeologist, because I tell you my life. See, I didn't have see. Listen, when you're going through with your own life, I didn't go to college for my life. I didn't get a degree in being in that. I didn't get a PhD and none of that in being who I am. That was a process that I had to walk through, which has taken 63 years. 63 years of living. So that's just how it is. But it does not mean that you don't have what it takes. It just means that you got to figure out how to get past stuff. I had to push past stuff that there was stuff I wasn't healed from, but I knew I couldn't stay there. So I had to push past it. And that was very difficult, even during that time to push past some things that hurt me so bad. And I was really tore up by some things. But now looking back, I'm like, wow, that thing that made me cry, I could chuckle about it now. But there was a time I couldn't laugh about certain things. But, now I can. So I just came on tonight to encourage you, to let you know that regardless of what it looks like, you're looking at an overcomer. You're looking at somebody who's overcoming, because I'm not an overcomer yet. I've overcome some stuff, but I'm constantly overcoming and trying to get to that place that I need to be. And that's why it's so important that I not only come on social media, but also meet other people, and which that was a very good experience for me on Saturday, that I got a chance to meet people that I never seen before. Meet people that, who knows, maybe I do have something in common, because so many times we stay within ourselves, in our group, in our little, we got our little box, and I'm in my box. Now I got 3 people in my box. Ain't nobody else coming in this box, because when you let other people in your box now, because they mess go on. But sometimes we just got to take that chance and get out that box. Hello, Linda. And we just have to take that chance and step out of that box, y'all. And so just know that regardless of what life throws at you, sometimes I have to pick it up and throw it back. Like, listen, this is not going to depress me. That situation is not going to cause me not to walk into what God have called me to walk in. That those tears is not going to stop me from getting up in the morning and doing the things that I've been called to do. That frustration is not going to deter me or get me off track on doing the things that I've been called to do. Okay, I don't know how many times I've been driving in my car with tears running down my face. I wipe my tears and keep it moving. Why? Not because I've already wallowed. I already know what it means to be depressed for years. I went through depression, severe manic depression. I know what it feels like. To be in a dog room. I know what it feels like to get off from work, shut the door, and don't open the door up to the next day, because I was functioning because I had to work. I had kids, but that was not a good place, and it was not a good place for my children. But thank goodness, I thank God that He brought them through that and brought me through it. So I know how that is. So I cannot allow myself to ever snowball and get in that place where I ball up in a knot and get in a corner somewhere. Because that, and what happens is time, listen, what I told you earlier, time still marching on, time still going. Time don't stop because you do. No, time not gonna stop. Time don't care nothing about you. Time is time don't owe you nothing. Time is unforgiving. If you didn't do it, oh well, maybe you get it done next time. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. And then you keep saying, well, I'll do it tomorrow. Well, no, baby, the day. Even if you just start writing it down, even if you just say, you know what, I believe in me. Even when you do a pep talk to yourself. I saw a shirt that I'm gonna get that shirt too. It said, I talk to myself because she gets me. I love that shirt. I don't know what about. She gets me. So she gets me. So now I have to look at myself and say, she gets me. When I look in that mirror, she gets me. She understands that, she don't have time to wallow. She gets me. She understands that at time that she had to cry, but she got to keep going. She gets me. And so this is how we have to be. I know it hurts. Listen, I know it hurts. I know about divorce. I know about death. I lost a grandson. I lost my mom, my father, my stepfather. I mean, people just died. And my grandmother just, like, it seems like, oh my God, it was just rapid session. So I know how traumatic a life can be. It wasn't that. Listen, it wasn't traumatic when I retired. That was the best thing that could have happened. But even on the job, I had got to the place where I hyperventilated. I said, "Oh no, I'm not getting ready to let this job kill me." I told them people bye bye. You know, yeah. For a minute, for about a month, I missed my check, but God provide, and I'm a-okay. But I had to. Those are the things that you have to go through, and I don't care who you are. There are times you got to walk through some stuff, and it don't feel good. It don't, y'all. It don't feel good. But there's a destiny that it's not just about you. There are people waiting for what you have. Listen, this uh, Saturday, let me say this, and I'm getting ready to close in a minute. Saturday, when I was talking to so many people came to my table. It was so many people, and also I walked around and introduced myself and talked to people, and it was really fun. So many people, but this one lady came back to the table 4 times. She didn't come back really the first time. She would, first 2 times she said, "Oh man, this is beautiful," and she bought a couple of things, and she came back again. She bought something, but when she came the third time, she started to share her life with me. She started to share some things. I don't know where she lived. I didn't know. I didn't even ask her where she was from. I don't know. I don't know if she was from Palm because I don't know where she was from. But she shared some things, and I thought about it. I said, you know what, God, I'm glad I was there to hear, because what she shared with me, I don't think it's something she probably could have released to a lot of people. She shared it with me because number one, she didn't really know me. She probably thought she'd see me no more. But whatever the case may be, I don't care. I don't care. But she shared some things with me, and I said, God, I was glad that I was there to hear her. Because sometimes when we share people, especially with our friends, and I love my friend, my best friend in the whole wide world is on here. And I could tell her anything. But a lot of times when you sometimes try to share stuff with people, they don't hear you because they've already made up in their minds. Even when you tell them something, they already got an answer. They don't really hear. So sometimes we need to stop hearing this. I say this all the time. Stop hearing with your ears and start hearing with your heart. And ask God, when people be talking to you, especially when people trying to pour out and maybe don't know how to articulate it well, don't know how to get it out. Sometimes I ask God, I say, God, let me hear them with here. Let me hear with my heart, because and then maybe if I hear with my heart, God, then I'll have the right words to say. Because sometimes when I hear in my ears, I already made up my mind what I think should happen. Well, girl, child, if I was you, well, you not them. So unless they ask you for that advice. And so that is the thing. So that's why, I mean, I do have a friend I can pretty much tell everything to, of course. But, sometimes we need to hear people, hear what they're saying. And so I was blessed. And I said, if nothing else happened on Saturday, there were several people that came to the table and they were just talking. Yeah, they talked about the stuff that was on the table, but they were talking and they were sharing. And we don't know what people may be going through, y'all. So I just thought about her. I was so blessed with that lady. Number one, I'm blessed because she showed about some stuff. But she came to the last time she said I'm here again. It was like, okay, she came 4 times. But maybe could it have been because I smiled at her? Could it have been that we were nice? See, sometimes people may just need a smile, you to be nice, kind. It don't cost much to be that way. So I just wanted to encourage somebody on this night to let them know, even though life can be what life is, and sometimes we get sad, and sometimes we have to cry. I'm not saying you're not going to have those moments. I'm not saying it, and there will be times. I'm telling you, when you don't want to be bothered with nobody, you just want to be you and God, and listen. I'm here, God. This is me. I ain't feeling nobody right now. But when that happens, you go through whatever you go through, but don't let it incapacitate you, because life will incapacitate you, and then you'll get almost crippled. You've been called to do something, but you get almost crippled because it's just almost more than you can bear. And so we have to learn how to shake that off. Okay. So that is what I wanted to share. I'll be back, of course, next Tuesday, and I'll share the word of God with you. But I wanted to come on here and I wanted to just try to, I guess one of the things is try to empower people. That's what I think. That's one of the things I've been trying to empower people and to remind people. See, because listen, just in case nobody ain't told you, I'm telling you, you're great, you're wonderful, you're marvelous, and God has anointed, appointed, and called you. There's a job He has for you. There are people that need what you have. I don't care who do what you do. There are people who need you, because I've learned in life. Say I'm just going to use a nurse as an example. Just use a nurse because that's what I want to be when I grew up. But then I guess I'm already grown up, so much for that. But like a nurse, you can have a nurse walk in your room, and they're very y'all sterile. Like I'm so and so and da 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 da. You're like, oh, okay, all right then. But then you have another person come in the room like, good morning, how are you? How you feeling today? You may make me feeling like crap, really, but that person comes in the room and it shifts the atmosphere, and you say, I'm not feeling well, you know, but since you walked in the room, I was coming from Sam, and this little boy was saying something to me. I don't know what he was saying, because number one, I was zoning. I'd be in my zone, and he said, ma'am, I'll take your bucket. I said, boy, you so sweet. I said, you so nice, and he was just smiling. It was something simple, but I was just shocked, because most time people don't even say nothing to each other no more. People be going in the stores and getting out of them stores. I guess we that type of environment we're in. But sometimes it's just small things, and just know, maybe God anointed you today to smile at some doggone body. Maybe, for you to wave at somebody. I mean, I know we live in a time we don't want to, interact a lot because of what's going on. But every now and then, just I do a Jesus check. God, what you want me to do today? Every now and then, just do a Jesus check, you know, and just know that you have what it takes, y'all. But you got to take what you have and work with it. You have what it takes, but take what you have, and that's the thing. We have it. Stop worrying about money. That's coming. Start. This what I'm doing is this thing is free. It's other stuff. Well, it's free for an hour. I put it like that. Anything over an hour, you have to pay. But if you go on StreamYard for an hour, it's free. You just got to make sure. I think Zoom too. I think Zoom is an hour also. But then when you get to a point that you're going to be more than an hour, then just pay for it. It's not very expensive. You have to sow into where you sow. What they say, sow into where you go, and that is so important that you understand that. So I think I have probably talked enough tonight. My name is Annette L. Anderson, and this is TNT Tuesday Night Talk, and this is where we take flight and soar. We speak, orate, articulate, articulate and reverberate. And let me just say this: the reason why God blessed me with all those words with SOAR is because each one of those words, speak, orate, articulate, reverberate, is about opening up your mouth and saying something. And so sometimes, y'all, we have to open up our mouths and just say something. You don't know a lot of times, and people don't know what you may need or whatever the case may be until you open up your mouth. So just know you have what it takes. So you have to take what you have and utilize it to the best of your ability. And so I'm going to pray with you right quick, and I'm going to let you go tonight. And it's been a blessing to serve you, and it's been a blessing to be on here talking. I absolutely love it. But anyway, let's pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, God, we pray that something was said or done to lift up your name and to give you glory. You've been good to us and gracious, and we thank you. God, I pray for those who may be struggling, trying to identify who you've called them to be. God, I pray that you would give them the answer. Let them know, Lord God, that if and when he calls them to step out, trust enough to know that if God said it, it shall come to pass. So, God, we thank you. We love you. We give you praise and glory, for this is our prayer on tonight. So, everybody, I love you guys. Thank you for listening to me. I'll be back next Tuesday. Have a blessed rest of your week, okay? Good night, everybody.